Hi, I'm Manda McKay. I'm a professional artist and I'm making these videos to give you tips to help enhance your creativity. And your level of expertise is not important here. Maybe you're a professional artist, maybe you're just starting out with a creative hobby, but regardless of your level of expertise, these tips are meant to be helpful for everybody. One thing that I keep hearing about today, and I'm sure you've heard about it a lot too, is the concept of self-care. It seems like many people are just feeling overwhelmed and burned out, just unwell in general. A lot of it's just from the state of the world. And it just seems like any time that you would expect life to be getting easier, it just somehow manages to get more difficult. So self-care is important. I think it's great that people are focusing on that and reminding themselves that they need to make some time to focus on their own wellness and health, because we often tend to put everybody else first, whether it's our pets, our family, children, spouse, and the concept of self-care reminds us that we also have to take care of ourselves as well. And it seems like recently the two self-care trends I've been hearing a lot about are bed rotting and binge watching, or maybe both at the same time. And in case you don't know, bed rotting is basically just staying in bed all day. And binge watching, of course, would be just watching a bunch of episodes of your favorite show. And both of these are valid. These are definitely valid. And I mean, if your body just wants to rest, that's, then bed rot away. And if you just want some kind of escapism, then binge watching is perfect for that. But I would like to propose that an even better form of self-care is to do something creative and work on some kind of an artistic project, or even just coming up with creative ideas for what you would like maybe your next project to be. Whether you've got your, your hobby, your creative practice, whatever it is, I think that creativity really is a terrific form of self-care. I've mentioned in other videos how I believe that creativity really is our natural state. And if you have ever seen children playing, I challenge you to find a little kid that is not creative and imaginative. That's really, we're just born that way pretty much. And then a lot of us, we kind of dim that light as we get older and we have more responsibilities, maybe people telling us to stop playing all the time. But think of creativity, it's also like your form of play as an adult. But definitely think of it as self-care, because it's helping you get back to that natural state, that part of you that's just inherently creative. And it's very nourishing to your soul. Now, if you can manage to get into a state of flow, then that's really excellent. In case you don't know what that means, a state of flow, that's basically being in the zone, so to speak, where you're extremely focused and engrossed with what you're doing, and you're just engaged with what you're working on to the point that you don't even, like, you're not even aware of the passage of time. Like, maybe you've been working for 5 minutes, maybe you've been working for 2 hours, and it's just kind of hard to tell. And of course, you don't have to be working on something creative to get into a state of flow. It can happen from all different things, including exercising, running, even driving a car. But creativity, working on something creative, is definitely one way to get there. And for me, as a painter, I would have to say that it's not that often that I do make it all the way into the state of flow, or maybe just in a painting session, maybe it will just be for like 15 minutes at a time, because I paint out of my kitchen. I don't have a separate studio, so I have all sorts of distractions and interruptions that make it more difficult for me to get into the flow state. So don't expect yourself to get into the flow state or get into the zone, because if you're putting too many expectations on yourself, then that's really going to be almost defeating the purpose of self-care. You want to be very gentle with yourself, and don't worry about whether you can get into the flow or not. Just try to try to get involved, just focus on your creative project and let yourself feel better. And just remember that this is self-care. So I want you to let me know in the comments, do you consider creativity to be a form of self-care? Have you ever managed to get into a state of flow, whether from doing something artistic or just anything else at all? I'd be curious to know how common that is for people. And I hope you did find this tip to be helpful. Once again, my name is Amanda McKay, and thank you so much for watching.